Good evening, welcome. My name is Kwabena, welcome. And I want to share with you briefly what I call knowledge is light, and you understand life according to the level of your knowledge. I understand life according to the level of my knowledge. You understand life according to the level of my knowledge. And so, the more difficulties, the more challenges that we get, and how we don't know what to do with the challenges, the more they show that our knowledge is really limited. And so you understand life according to the level of knowledge that you have, and I understand life according to the level of knowledge that I have. And see the environment that you were brought up in, the things that have shaped the way you see life, the things that have brought you up, they have a lot to do with the way you see or you understand life. And for most people, see, unless you know what has brought somebody up, unless you know what has trained somebody, you have no idea what they can handle. And so when you are in any situation, a situation that can overcome another person, the same situation can build somebody else up, because or somebody else can take a lot in spite of the difficulties that they seem to be having. And sometimes people who have not endured a lot, people who don't know much, will try to think that everybody understands life from their level, and that is not true. The difference between men is what they know. And so when somebody else is doing something which you cannot do, it shows that they know something that you don't know. And to the Africans and to my fellow countrymen and those from the continent, a lot of the times we just think that once you meet a human being with two eyes, nose, one mouth, who look like us, it means that we only, we all understand things as they are. No, it's not. It's not necessarily true. A lot of life is lived to the level of knowledge that we have. And so, my name is Kwabena. I'm trying to, share with you, especially if you meet business people, people who are trying to achieve something. And if you're a new person and you try to, build a business, try to go after your goals and dreams, usually when you meet the difficulties and the challenges, you may think that those challenges are heavy. They are only heavy according to the level of your exposure in terms of knowledge. In terms of knowledge is not information that is out there. Knowledge is that which has stayed with you. You can hear a lot of information. A lot of things come to us. We hear a lot, we see a lot, we touch a lot. Those that stay with us become the knowledge that we have. And if you have not done those intentionally, then you meet life from a struggling point. And I have about 4 things that with respect to knowledge, that I think would help anybody to at least break some things down. Because kind of environment that we live in, when people are talking, the only source of knowledge that most of us have is the one that they told us in school. The one that they told us, the chemistry, the physics, the biology. We think that is knowledge enough to face life. That's why people beat themselves when they have been through all these kind of degrees and schools, and still life is that much difficult for them. Or when we listen to the radio, the political talk shows and all the things, or the things that they taught us in the culture, we think that once we know those things, it means that we understand life. Anywhere you go in this world, anywhere you travel in this world, any country is driven by the compass or the composite knowledge of their citizenry. So the more enlightened the citizenry are, the more developed the country becomes. The more the average citizen is enlightened, because the country moves according to the level of knowledge, of exposure of the citizens. And so any family is just measured by the level of the knowledge, the composite knowledge of the family. The country is the same. In any group that you are part of is the same. And so if you, as an individual, the level of knowledge that you have is the light that you have, not my light, yours. Men are like students living in their classes of ignorance, right? Or say, okay, Black, thank you. And so you see something will happen and everybody else is panicking. And another person will look at that and say that, no, it's not like that. Why? Because of the depth of knowledge that they have, the intensity of your light. Knowledge is light. And those who achieve a lot in this world live in that light. In the light, the level of light that you have decides the productivity that you have, how you control your time, how you work, how you handle people, how you conduct yourself. That's the level of life that you have. Your character, your morals, they reflect the intensity of your light, and that is knowledge. So when you have push, and nothing is working, it means that you have pushed for a while, like the African countries. They continue to push, and they say that democracy will help them. They try democracy, they didn't help. They tried coup d'etat, didn't help. Then they try religion, it's still not. They try everything, and they are grouping, or they are trying to find something in darkness. You need light, and once you look at your results, and the results is not coming, it's likely that the level of light that you have may be darkness. And so frustration is a proof of level of the knowledge that you have. I don't think that life is meant to be lived out of frustration. Life, no matter the pressure, no matter the challenges that we all meet, we still are supposed to meet life, live life from the fulfillment point of view, from where you know that you are at peace with yourself. And you cannot be at peace with yourself if you have a lot of ignorance and darkness in your mind. And so life is lived from the point of view, I think, knowledge, and knowledge is light. And those of us who are Christians, God is actually light. And so your understanding of God, when sometimes we talk, they say, hey, you want to attack the pastors. We are not attacking them. But you cannot pronounce something in somebody's life when that person is living in ignorance and think that you can. So let's say the person knows nothing about money, and you think that just because you have some power, you can just say something and that person will become rich. No, finance is a product of light, which is knowledge. Peaceful marriage is a product of light, which is knowledge. Successful businesses are built out of knowledge of those who are involved. Successful life, the health that you enjoy, the beauty of the relationships that you have, the products that you're coming up with, the systems that you're building, the discoveries that you're getting, they are all coming from the knowledge that you have, and the level of our knowledge will show the depth of our discovery of life. And so if you were born and into this kind of mess where you were not taught that your life is just reflecting the level of the light that you have, which is knowledge. And so if you don't know that, you think that everything just happens, and that's why you think that a lot of things are outside your power. And really, for the best of the knowledge that I have now, I think that if anything will happen in your life, much of it will depend on the level of knowledge that you have. And so I'll pick some few things, and especially with business. For instance, if you're an entrepreneur, your understanding of entrepreneurship, the processes, the kind of business that you can do to succeed in the kind of environment that you have, your understanding of the product that you're doing, your leadership skills, the way you can look at somebody and say that, come, let us build business together, the way you understand your market. All those have a lot to do with the success rate that you're going to get, And so if you don't know much of these things, it means that you are in darkness in some kind of sort. So somebody who has a lot of knowledge as to the processes that you have to go through to build a business, the journey that you have to go through as an entrepreneur. If you understand this, if you have some proper knowledge on that, you will see that you will not panic. You go through it. Nobody can just shift you like that. So the mistakes, the errors, the pain, the challenges that come, they come because of what? Because we are having some level of darkness. The intensity of our light will prove the success that we are going to enjoy in our business. And so I think that knowledge comes to correct the errors on anything that you have. We all were born. We were born in an environment where some kind of information, was given to us on almost everything. So they told you that if you want to marry, this is what you look for. If you want to build a business that you want to, this is what you look for. If you're an African, this is, they have told you those things that they told you. If they are right, they will become good light for you. But if they are wrong, then they become darkness, and that's why you struggle. So your first duty is to question a lot of the things that they have told you, and to see if they are right or they are not right. Almost on everything. Almost on everything. Maybe you don't know how to make friends because of the level of understanding, the level of knowledge that you have. If you don't correct that, then you struggle to make friends. Maybe you don't know how to make sales with your business. Maybe your marketing is struggling. If you don't correct that, the errors, then they will continue to impede your growth. And so knowledge that builds the right foundation must be the thing that you seek after. Almost everything. There is a certain understanding I have on anything. The closer that thing is to the reality, to that which works, to that which produces results, the better the chance that I'll have to get results. And so if I don't correct that and I still build on an error, like maybe, especially let me talk about relationship and marriage, that's what a lot of people can relate to. If you look at the social media, the nature of many people, it's about marriage, relationship, people like things like that. So even if they are broke, they still want to marry. And the more errors you have with when it comes to, let's say, what you go through to pick a woman, what you go through to pick a man, what you go through to have some of these things. Thank you for watching from Russia. What you go through to pick a wife, what are the things that you look for? What is the light that you have on that? If that light is not strong, you will go and pick somebody. And then the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you put yourself in danger, in slavery, in difficulties. But if your light is strong, then you will know these are the things, these are the qualities, these are the things that I have to look for in a certain woman. If you're building a business, it's the same. The level of understanding. If they are in error, you are going to struggle. So most of the times, the things that you are struggling with your life is because the light is weak. That's all. But some people will try to link it to all kind of complex things. They will link it to most, you are not succeeding in anything, and they say that, it's because there's a demon somewhere. Your only challenge as a human being, most of it, especially those in Africa, is the level of knowledge that we have on everything. The level of knowledge that you have. So what are the challenges that you're meeting? Everywhere that you're meeting any challenge, before the problem came, what was the depth of your knowledge? Because that is the intensity of the light that you have. We only understand life according to the level of knowledge that we have. So most people, because I believe that God will not create us and let another person control you all your life, from the day you were born to the day you die, and somebody else would have to lead you every time. I don't think so. Then why would God judge you if you're not responsible for your life? Which means that the most honest responsibility as a human being is to make sure that you build your level of knowledge so that you can be responsible for your life. And so your freedom actually is coming from the level of knowledge, which is the intensity of the light that you have. And so when you're looking for something in a room and that light is weak, which means that you are going to struggle to find. But if that light is strong, you'll be able to identify. Well, no matter the treasure in the room, if there is darkness, total darkness in there, you cannot find that treasure. And so that treasure is in you, actually. Everything that you need in this life to succeed is in you. That's why the knowledge that you have is the knowledge to help you to know who you are, your gift, the things that you're meant to do on this world, in this world, the things that you can contribute, the value you can also see in another human being. Those things will make you live in liberty. And that's the intensity of light that you have. So if you don't correct that, then, if you think that life is controlled by something different, something somewhere, and there's not much you can do as a human being, your life will be in chaos. And most people are going through that because they never, ever think that the life that they're living only is reflecting the intensity of their light. So you only understand life from the level of knowledge that you have. And that's why you are getting the results that you're getting. That's why I'm getting the results that I'm getting. That's why I'm enjoying the peace that I'm enjoying. If I think that I have freedom, I have enough fulfillment, I'm not in competition with another person, I'm setting my goals, I'm following my dreams, I'm building my business. Those things, they come from the level of light that you have. So the knowledge. So you have to break some things down. There's knowledge that gets results. There are so many African youth now who are occupied with knowledge that will never change their future story. Why? Because they get up in the morning, they are listening to political news, politics all the time, football, entertainment all the time. If you continuously feed yourself those things, there's no way you're going to do any much with your life. Because even though you're getting information, but you're not doing it to change the narratives that you don't like. Let's say you don't have a job, but all your time, you're looking at what? Videos that you just laugh and joke. People just smile, crack jokes. Crack everything they make joke out of it. You look at our adverts, so joke. Look at even serious things, we make joke out of them. Why? It's the depth of understanding, the depth of our knowledge. Whilst other continents are going to space, coming up with new products all the time, building structures, we are locked up in what? Entertainment. Sometimes when I watch TV, everywhere that you see there's an entertainer somewhere, they look like black to me, and I think that is not right. I want to see people who are coming out, with computers, with softwares, with new products, writing new books, coming up with, things that can change the destiny of our continent. People who think like that didn't get there. They studied. They went for knowledge. They committed themselves to things that will change, because you cannot produce that which you have not put in yourself. Everything that is in your head, you had to put them there. And so if from January to December, if you don't pick a book to read, that anywhere that you're ignorant, somebody else has something in a book. If you don't build that knowledge, your light will be weak. And the level of knowledge you have is going to be responsible for the results that you're getting. You see, all the January, some people will come out and give all kind of prophecies. Don't believe them. They don't work. You don't have to waste your time. The one that you are responsible are the one that you have put in yourself. So if you want to change something in your finances, if you want to change something in your business, if you want to start a business, if you want to come out with a product, if you want to come out with something, a lot of them are in knowledge that you don't have. Which means that until you get that knowledge, you cannot build the skill that you need. And if you don't have that skill, you cannot produce any results. And so life will continue to be like that. You just go through life like an average person. You struggle, because for most people, life is a struggle. Why? It's a struggle because they don't build up that intensity, which is knowledge. So it's the knowledge that we all need. And they are in books. So if most people don't worry themselves, they want to be very much happy with the level of life that they have, where they think that they can hang their life and somebody else will take care of them. Like maybe you are employed, you think that somebody else should just be paying you even if you don't do anything. You'll be average. But if you're ambitious, you want to do something with your life, your number one duty is to increase that intensity, because you only understand life according to the level of knowledge that you have. Sometimes when you're debating with people, and there's not much you can change until they start to push some kind of knowledge. Until they start to put some level of knowledge in them, you cannot lift them to that level. They have to intentionally build up that knowledge. If they don't, no matter what you say, you will push them, but they still come back to that which they are comfortable with, which is the level of knowledge that they have. People will always settle according to the comfort that they have, and that is the knowledge, the understanding that they have about how things are done, about life, about what they think, what they even believe about themselves is according to the knowledge that they have. So sometimes when I see a young person, a graduate or something, with a book, a lot of the times I think I'd have some kind of hope in such a young person who has a book in his hands, especially books that will equip them, book that will improve their mindset, book that will help them to learn a skill, book that will help them to become more effective, book that will help them to become more disciplined, to achieve their goals. When you see somebody building up that, because the difference between the rest of the world and us in Africa is really the difference in the knowledge. It's the difference in the knowledge in their universities, in their research, in their consortiums, the difference in knowledge in how their governments are run, how the citizens think and behave, what get their attention, what they pay their attention. Those, the difference between countries and institutions is the knowledge, the amount of knowledge, the quality of it. That is what is responsible for everything that is happening. So you can't do much until you have that knowledge, because really you only understand life. I only understand life according to the knowledge that I have. So if it's a business, I understand that my resource, they are going to reflect, at least the threshold is going to be directly linked to the level of knowledge that I have, because that's the light that I have. So if it's marriage, is the same, the level of knowledge that I have. If it's finances, is the same. If it's health, it's the same. If it's building a country, it's the same. If it's leading an organization, I cannot lead an organization to the level that my light is not there. So, and every woman has that kind of capacity to build that, because I think that knowledge concentrates, it builds up. That's why somebody says, oh, I want to start a business. They talk and they don't start. They talk, they don't start. They talk, they don't start. It's because they've not built that. The intensity of light is not there. It's not gotten to the point that it can tip off for them to start. So once you continue, it doesn't matter the age. Once you continue to build up the knowledge, just one day, you see that you get the confidence to say, let me go and try this. Sometimes you want to do something and that's why they said, oh, it's not right time, it's not right time. It's the intensity, it's the light. Once the light's up, you gather some. You don't know where the confidence will come from. You just jump up and you start to do. Is the knowledge build up. So everything that you think you don't know, everything that you think you must have that is not coming, everything that you're struggling with, there's some kind of knowledge deficit, which means that when there is a deficit, it means that there is some kind of ignorance somewhere, and it means that the knowledge is not that there, and it will also mean that you have to take your time to build up. So this year, take that decision to build that knowledge. Life, even though they say it's difficult, but it's really according to the knowledge that you have. It's really according to the knowledge that I have. If you are living life and you're stretching yourself, it's that. I mean, if you're successful in anything, it's because you have different way of looking at it. Different way of looking. I mean, solving issues, different way of solving problems, different way of. Some things will happen and somebody will come there and just tell you that, no, this thing is this. Why? Because of the light, the intensity, the depth that they have. And so all men look same, but their intensity is different. So there are a lot of things that you must occupy yourself to at least learn. You have to learn. If they say what is knowledge, you must know it. If they tell you what is wisdom, you must be able to break it down. If they tell you what is light, you should be able to break it down. What is life? You should be able to break it down. They talk. Those complex things that the philosophers were trying to break down. You cannot just say that it doesn't matter. When they talk about time, when they talk about gifts, those things, they try to explain things. You should also go back and build the fundamentals of them. The Africans have not built these fundamentals. That's why we still continue to struggle and we still continue to go through pain. But you can do that at your personal level. The intensity of knowledge that you have is the intensity of light that you have. And the pains of life come from the darkness. So the more light you have, the more you can do things and not get frustrated. The more you can have endurance. The more you can have character. The more you can have the morals set right. The more you can be compassionate. The more you can be kind, because you have built up the right knowledge. Nobody achieves anything. And they see the most successful people, they talk the same. The understanding of a lot of things that they say. If you ask them what they think about time, the answer they will give you just about close. If you ask them what they think about human value, the answer they will give you look like the same. When you ask them how they handle money, you'll be shocked how the answer, they may not have ever met, but the answer looks close. Now, if you look at the other people who are struggling and living in poverty, how they handle their time, how they handle human life, how they think of themselves, the courage that they express, the identity that they have built, how they organize themselves, you see that they also look the same. It's because of the level of knowledge that they have. And I'm not talking about the knowledge that you use to write the exam and pass. That is one side, that's academic knowledge. And you don't live life, you don't become successful in your business with academic knowledge. You don't even succeed in life with academic knowledge. You succeed in life with the light that you have lit within you, that you continue to find, that you continue to increase the intensity. And those come from books. Those come from books. So if you just pick a book and read about fun and gossip, your light will not be that strong. Your life will not be that strong. And that's why most people who don't read, who don't build themselves, who don't increase them, who don't even know the importance of knowledge and how they can change the story of their lives, they are the ones blaming everybody, insulting everybody, and they are the ones forcing us to agree with them. You are going to work, somebody else is playing. And when you are successful, they want to accuse you. They want to tell you that why are you not helping them? But we all have the same amount of time and we all have the same head. And if you can read, we can all build and set our lives on the right path. So if you're meeting frustrations, if the business is not working, if the house is on chaos, it means that there are things that you have not built. You have not put in your head. And because the knowledge is your light. And so knowledge comes, to correct the errors. All of us have been told something. Poor families have a certain level of understanding on money, on work, on time, on ethics, on being grateful. They have a certain way. If you come from such a family and you don't correct that with the right knowledge, then you also, because there's a knowledge that works to get results. There's a knowledge that destroys. There's a knowledge that will stagnate your life. Your duty is to make sure you know that which works. And you will see that after a certain while, you see that the results, your push is not going. It means that there's something that you don't know. Therefore, you have to go and look for it. If you don't go and look for it, you struggle all your life. So knowledge builds, and the right knowledge will correct the fundamentals. And if the fundamentals are not right, no matter what you do, you will not get the results. And you have to be able to break down some of the things. Your understanding of a lot of things will go a long way to show the level of quality of life that you get to live and how many people you can even help and how relaxed you can live your life. You can stretch your life and go the extra mile because of the build-up that you have, the intensity of the knowledge that you have built. If you're not reading, if you're not storing up knowledge, if you're not doing the things that will lift the game, because all the people who are performing at the very top level, there's something that they know that those who are performing at a very low level don't know. So it's not magic. If anybody, some people work maybe 14 hours, 16 hours. There's something that they know. Some people work 2 hours and they are tired and they are complaining. So people go to work, everything that they give them, they'll complain. Every struggle, every problem, they cannot even call you to give to you because your intensity, the light, the knowledge that you have is probably very low. And so you think that you would succeed no matter how you do your things. And some people think like that. They will get money no matter how they behave. It doesn't work like that. Go and study those who are getting results. Look at how they think. Look at the things that they're studying. Look at how they handle their time. Look at how they handle people. And try to do the same. And a lot of them, their discoveries and their revelations have been kept in books. They have put a lot of them in books. And so if you want results, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs, you have to continuously read. Broaden your horizon. Read, stretch your mind, because that is the level of intensity that you have. And the more light you have, the more you can see. The better you understand life. The more you can endure. The more you can stay when everybody else is giving up. The more you can stay, because you can interpret issues to favor you. But if your light is weak, any little problem you want to blame somebody. Any little problem you panic. Any little challenge you want to give up because your intensity is weak. So you are easily overcome by the issues and the vicissitudes of life. Why? Because your intensity is low, your knowledge is low. So the more you build yourself, especially, the best form of investment that you can do on your way to success and your way in building your business is invest in knowledge. Invest yourself, stretch yourself with books, build your mind, get the right information. Because if you want to go somewhere, you cannot do what everybody else is doing. Has to go somewhere. Because everything you put in yourself is an investment to work for you or to work against you. So my name is Obedako. Thank you very much for watching. And I'm talking about knowledge. Knowledge is light. God himself is knowledge. He lives in that. That's why those who understand life, or those who try to understand the things of God, they must have that intensity of light. Because if you cannot live in darkness and understand the things of God. You cannot. That's why ignorance is dangerous. So you cannot succeed with your business if you live in ignorance. You cannot succeed in your marriage if you live in ignorance. You can't succeed with your health, with your personal pursuit. You can't build anything if you don't stretch that. And so all the struggles are coming from the areas that we don't have strong strength, that we don't know much. The financial success will come because you understand finance from a very high level. Because the knowledge is the base. Without it, you can build discipline, you can build skill, you can build any other thing. Courage even stems out of knowledge, because you can be courageous. Why? Because you see things differently from the rest. The only way that you can express that kind of faith is because your understanding is different, which means that the way you think, the way you look at issues, different from the others. That's why you're succeeding. So thank you very much for watching, and live knowing that you can only succeed with anything, any endeavor, because you will increase that intensity. Knowledge is light. So we all see life according to the level of the knowledge that you have. So sometimes when you're debating with people, they are debating according to the level of knowledge. You also debating according to the knowledge that you have. The country is being built according to the knowledge that the leaders have. So if their knowledge is weak, the country is not going anywhere. The family is being built according to the knowledge of the couples in the family. The company, it cannot be built beyond the light that the leadership of that company has. Nothing is ever built beyond those who are leading it and their level, the intensity of their light. And that's why you must take it as a duty, as an honor on you, to keep stretching, to keep learning, and to keep reading. There are so many things in books. Keep building. Because you cannot even hear anything if you cannot connect to the level of anything that you connect, any revelation that you get, it's because you can relate with it. If you let's say I don't know how to maybe I don't know anything about microbiology. If I'm working on something it looks like that, I cannot connect because I don't know anything about it. I don't have any light there. The things that I understand. Let's say you are walking on the road, you have never seen gold. Anybody who has never seen gold, you don't have that knowledge. You can't see it. You don't understand. You don't have that skill. But the one who has it, when they go through the road, they will identify it. They can connect with it. So your success is really connecting with the light, the knowledge, the expertise, the skill that you have. And none of it will be built without the right setting, the right footing. So your understanding is very much important. So break a lot of things down. Learn, go re-educate yourself. When they say something is true, do you understand it? When they say something is wisdom, don't just live with the things that they told you. Live with the things that you have taken your time to study. The things that you have bought books, you have read them, you have broken them down. Research, not just one book. Pick a topic and read it. When they say business, read a lot about it. Know how it is done. When they talk about, let's say, product, what is it? Do you understand anything, or you just pick the one from the radio station, the ones that they talk, the noise? Because you cannot build any successful life by living with the knowledge from the radio stations and the news media, the news and the social media. No, you can't do that. The knowledge that will be able to lift you to the level that you so desire will be the knowledge that you have built, and that becomes the level of light that you have. That's how you understand life. The way you understand life is different from the way another person understands life. Why? Because our light is different. The things that we are reading, we are studying, they're different. So something that will make another person panic. Another person will see the same thing as an opportunity. Why? Because of the light, the knowledge that they have. And they were not born with it. They put it there themselves. You know, things that will happen to countries that will make them collapse. Another country will go through the same thing and use it to build the country. And so, for me, the African presidents that I will see, that I will start to believe in, that are able to build the country that we want, will be the African countries, that the presidents that will start to build this light, that will start to lift the people to live in knowledge. The moment the people are stuck in this everything that they do, that they've been doing for the last 100,000 years, they are not going to develop. That's a fact, because the people will develop according to the intensity of the knowledge that they have, and that's the light. You know, so if the other day we heard a story and I was laughing, but even though it's dangerous, this guy was wearing a shoe, and probably he's not been wearing shoes, he's been wearing slippers or something like that, and he happened to wear this shoe for maybe 5-6 hours, you know, and at the end of the day, he happened to have some sore, and he went to the hospital. He thought that because he wore that shoe to do some ceremony, somebody had used some magic on him. But somebody with a different light told him that because you wore that shoe for that long, that's why your leg was paining you. But to the other person, he thought that it was some spirit somewhere, some spiritual something that somebody was trying to do. The level of the intensity of knowledge that you have is very much important to the level of peace. Because this guy could have gone to another malam somewhere and they will start to cut the leg, put something on it, and next day you see that the whole thing becomes complicated. He even went to the hospital and tried to look at what somebody else. So the level of your knowledge is so much important. It's able to help you to separate a lot of things, and you can put a lot of things in perspective, and you can get a lot of peace and better results. And you can know what responsibilities are there for you to take, what steps you must take to get results and to keep pushing, and to know where others have reached, because you're light. So if you're not getting a lot of things separated, a lot of things are choke, it means that you are living in darkness, and that's very difficult for a lot of people to accept. But this is life. We live according to the level of knowledge that we have, and that level is responsible for everything that is happening in your life. Everything. Even those that call on God and say that God's grace is directly linked to the knowledge that you have. People talk about favor. Favor is directly linked to the knowledge that you have. Favor does not come to the ignorant. It comes to the one who has knowledge, who is wise, because then you do things that will attract those favor. It's not magic. So knowledge is the foundation of your life and everything that is happening. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you. So live in that knowledge. If there is any frustration, build up that knowledge. Break things down. Go and study a lot of things in books. Go and read. People have written a lot. If you're a doctor and you're not getting the best form of it, the best magazines that are coming out, the best articles that are, the current one, you're locked up in ignorance. You cannot be the best. If you're a business person, what are you reading? What are you reading? If you're a lawyer, what are you reading? Because that's the intensity of the light that you have. And if that light is weak, your life will be frustrating. And then you start to blame everybody. But really, the freedom is in that light. The freedom that I have is in that light. If I have freedom, inner peace is in that light. If you're frustrated, it means that you're refusing to increase that intensity of light that you have. So thank you. You understand life according to the knowledge that you have. So if life is very confusing, don't blame everybody. The fact that you are blaming people and blaming the government and blaming your parents and blaming everybody thing shows that you don't know much. It means that you are locked up in ignorance, even though it's very difficult. It is like that because you cannot give your responsibility to another person. The moment you say that it is my responsibility to get knowledge, to find that which works, it is my responsibility to be responsible for my life, if that is an English word, and to enjoy the peace. You know, the atmosphere you create in your home is a direct reflection of the intensity of the light that you have, which is the knowledge. And so if it's not working, go and look for it. There are so many things. Go to the internet, go and buy books, watch videos, start to build yourself. You cannot blame anybody for the success or the failure of your life. It's you, and it's me as well. So if it's not working, I have to go and look at that which I don't know. Because the difference, your only disadvantage is that which you don't know. You know, and the only advantage is that which you know. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you.